Hi everyone, how are you? I'm actually never really posted much in here before. I've been in the group for a couple of months, but I've been relatively quiet, I guess. I never really shared anything in here. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Phoebe. I am I am a content marketing and communications consultant. I live in Bali. I'm originally from Melbourne, Australia, and I've been working with Elisa since September. So I actually have a really incredible story that I would love to share with you all. And originally we planned to do an interview tonight together, but we had some problems with Facebook letting us both live stream at the same time. So this will just have to suffice. It was really interesting. Like, I really reflected a lot on my time working with Elisa, and it's so interesting looking back on really where I was when I reached out to her in September, and what was going on in my life at the time, and where I am now and what's going on for me now. So just to show you all, and this is really vulnerable for me, and this is really honest, but Elisa was in my sphere of awareness from about March, April of 2019. So I remember when she had just done a new photo shoot and she published like a preview of one of her new photos with this big red hair. And I was like, whoa, look at this redhead bombshell. Like, so amazing. What the hell? And she wrote something about human design. And I never really understood what it was truly. And in that moment, I realized that what I thought human design was actually completely different to what it is. So it was funny. I was looking at that original post last night. I went back onto her timeline. I was like, when did I even find you? Like, when did you come up for me? How did I start following you? And it was this one post that she wrote in April. And I just actually want to read you like an excerpt from this post because it really touched like a part of my soul. These words: you are a living genius. Your higher purpose in life is to share your particular genius with the world. Your genius simply makes you a truly joyous human being. That is your higher purpose, to be radiant for no reason other than being alive. Your genius can only emerge out of that inner radiance. I remember reading that and feeling so struck by that sentence, those sentences. And I commented on her post. I said, wow, actually, I thought human design I thought it was a design thing. Like, I thought it was like human-centered design. I thought it was like a UX thing. And I realized, oh, this is an energetic approach to personal development and spiritual development and alignment. And I was like, wow, I was so wrong about this. So that night, I downloaded my charts. I downloaded my human design chart. I downloaded my gene key chart, and I tried reading them, and I was so confused and so overwhelmed by all of the information. And what I could read, I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's mind blowing. But most of the time it was like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know how to interpret this data. And I was on the human design website, like the International Institute, and it's really recommended that you book in a chart reading with a formally trained consultant. And I thought, okay, cool. Like, I would love to do that one day. I'll come back to that. I'm going to do that one day. And so that was in April. Fast forward to September. I had just moved to Bali and I had one client contract that just covered my living expenses. So it didn't really give me any much extra money, and I had to kind of be pretty lean, but I basically just had my living expenses covered with this one client contract. And after a few weeks of being here, I didn't really want to work with that client anymore. It became really apparent to me very quickly that we weren't a good match anymore, and that relationship was coming to an end. And I started to really panic and I started to really freak out. And I was at a point where I just had no idea like what I was going to do. I just moved here and I uprooted my whole life. Like, I sold my car, I packed up all my stuff in boxes, and I was like, I have to make this work. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I felt this pull to come back to this human design thing. I actually had drinks with one of my friends and colleagues, Kylie, and she said to me, if you look at your charts, it's actually really easy for you to see your purpose. All of that information is in your charts. It's amazing that people have no idea what their purpose is. It's like in your chart data. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I think that's really true. So I kept feeling like I want to come back and I want to see what's in my charts. I want to know like what this secret is that's in my DNA, that's in my charts that I don't know how to interpret. Like I need a translator. I need someone to be able to read this for me. And I just remember this night in September. It was like middle of September. I was crying into my pillow, and I was on the phone to two of my best friends. I was fucking terrified. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. Like I'm so scared. I just don't know, like how, like what value do I have? Like how am I going to show up in the world? Like how am I going to support myself? I have no idea. I'm fucking terrified. I was crying like into my pillow, like just endlessly. And I reached out to Elisa that night, and I was so direct. I messaged her. I was like, look, I've been following you for a while, man. How do you operate? What offers do you have? How do I work with you? What do you do? Readings? You do one-on-one? Like, what are your packages, man? Just give it to me. And she laughed so hard. We started voice memoing back and forth, and she told me all of her offers. And I was like, I don't know what I need, but I feel like I need like a push, because I've been decapitated and I was so powerless. And I was like, I just need to it's like I need a little flotation device, like I'm out in the ocean, I'm worried that I'm going to drown, and I need someone to throw me a little floaty, so I can remember how to swim, because it's like I know how to swim, but I forgot, that's kind of like the feeling that I was going through. It was crazy. The other night, I actually went back and I listened to our reading that we did in September, which was 1 week after that initial phone call. And it was amazing, like, to listen to where I was back then, because I really didn't realize like how far I'd come since September. I didn't realize like how much I transformed, because we do that, like we forget where we were and we have these like rose tinted glasses. So long story short, we ended up working together for about 2 months throughout September and October. And it was quite amazing, because what she shared with me was how to embody my unique strategy as a projector with a 3-6 profile, with an emotional authority. There were all these things like in my chart that were telling me everything that I needed to do and everything that I needed to embody to truly live by my design. And it was everything that felt so right and so genuine and authentic to me. And yet I had spent my whole life conditioned to believe that those things were wrong, and that if I embodied those things, that I would fail. I was conditioned to really behave and show up in the world like a generator or a manifesting generator, and not like the projector that I am. And I was always tired, and I was always exhausted, and I always felt like I was going against the grain, and life was always difficult and nothing made sense. I always felt like I had to push so hard. It was always like pushing to then just get not much response. And she said to me, like, you're naturally really, really magnetic. Like, you're supposed to be a lighthouse and you're here to guide others. But when when you're desperate and when you like go in, people like pull away. But when you allow yourself to just trust and know that people will seek out your wisdom, all you have to work on is being blissful, following your bliss, live in your radiance, like follow your heart and share authentically, express yourself, because you have such a depth of emotion. I was like, you're telling me that my strategy is to share my emotions? Okay, great. Like, easy, done, no problem. Like, that's all I want to do. Like, I'm a writer. I just want to write. I want to speak. I want to express myself. So when she said that was my strategy, I was like, great, I can do that. And it was a relief, and it was just like, it was a feeling of like coming home to myself. So, she shared all of that in the lead up to my reading and then in the reading. And we had our reading on the 24th of September. In those 2 weeks, I had so much clarity, like drop in about what are my offers, what are my services, what am I going to do? Like, what's this rebrand and what's this, relaunch going to be? How am I moving towards this iteration of content marketing and away from the transformational coaching? What does it look like? Who am I working with? Everything just became so clear. Everything became so easy. And people started like coming to me, like all of a sudden people were messaging me, people were booking in. It was crazy. Like I couldn't believe it. It was so strange that, in the space of 2 weeks, I went from like a nervous wreck, breaking down, crying into my pillow, like calling my best friend saying like, I'm fucking terrified. I have no idea how I'm going to like feed myself and survive, to 2 weeks later at the beginning of October when I started doing intuitive readings, and I did 10K in cash in October. Like, it was crazy. Like, I had bookings, I had so many messages from people who wanted to work with me and people who were just like propositioning me to do things. And I was like, this is wild, man. This is crazy. Like, I will never forget the exact moment when I knew that something had changed, and I knew that I had embodied this strategy, like this projector magnetic strategy. I was at my friend's birthday at Finn's Beach Club in early October, and we're in the VIP section. And we're in the rooftop bar, and I was the only one that brought my bikini. I was like, we're at a beach club, as if we're not going to get in the pool. It was around sunset anyway, so they all just stayed up and they were drinking on the rooftop, and I just like took all my clothes off and I jumped downstairs into the VIP pool. And I remember just getting in there and like floating back as the sun was setting, feeling so calm and at peace and just like in awe of life and inspired by who I was and the world that I was living in and everything that had happened in the last couple of weeks. And I messaged Elisa and I was like, dude, like, I just had all these bookings come in and I just had all these people message me and everything's happening, man. I just didn't really do anything other than follow my bliss and share my feelings, like you said. And it was just like the most beautiful feeling. You know, it was like the easiest thing that I could possibly do. You know, it was so simple, but it was like the most powerful and profound and effective thing that anyone could have ever told me to do. And since then, things have really just only, you know, been even more potent. For those of you who don't know me and for those of you who don't follow me, in December, I started working on my signature group program. And that is all about content marketing and content writing. That's my genius. I'm a really good communicator. I'm really good at writing and marketing, specifically branding. So I packaged that all up into a 6-week program. And I knew that at this point, I had really achieved a level of energy mastery thanks to working with Elisa. And when I launched, I mean, like, I had no idea what was normal. I had no idea, like, what was going to be a good number, what was, like, bad. I was like, if I get 20 people watching my, you know, free trainings, like, I guess that's good, you know, like, I'm happy. I don't know. And so I let everybody know. And within 2 weeks, I had 280 people signed up to watch my trainings in a free group that I had just made. And I was like, Jesus, like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't do any ad spend, you know, like, I wrote a couple of posts to promote it, but it just exploded. And people in there were really enjoying what I was creating. And then I had 10 people sign up to the program. So, I mean, it was a pretty successful launch. And then I had 16 more people message me and say that they want to kind of go on the wait list for the next one. And like, are you going to do another one? Because I really want to sign up to the next one. Just the timing right now isn't right for me. And I was like, I guess I'll do another one then, you know, like, I was just kind of winging it. And so there became this like demand, and there's just a lot of energy, like building and building. And I mean, like, I was excited and it felt really good. And so again, I still didn't know like if these were good numbers or not. I was kind of like, is that a good conversion rate? And then I was talking to my business coach about it, who we do, you know, kind of more tangible 3D strategy. And he's like, wait, what were your numbers again? And we broke them down. And he was like, hold on. He's like, so how many people were in the group watching the live streams? I was like, 280. He's like, okay. And he's like, and how many people bought and how many people signed up for next time? And he broke it down. He's like, oh, you know, 50% never buy, like, or, you know, 20% this and 15% that. And this is the industry average. Long story short, he was like, dude, your conversion rate was double the industry average. He's like, that's unheard of. And I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, and without any fucking ad spend. He's like, you have the highest conversion rate I've ever seen. He's a fucking sales coach. He's like, you have a higher conversion rate than me. And he's like, dude, he's like, we all know that your energy's bomb and that's why. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. He's like, yeah, you need to realize that these are really good results. And I was like, I just didn't know. Like, I didn't know if it was good or not. I was like, actually kind of thought I could have done better. And he's like, no. He's like, this was really, really good. And I was like, oh, cool. So, you know, looking back on that now, I can see that, you know, a lot of that is because of the embodiment of my human design type. And it really, like, you know, it's been one of the most profound journeys that I've ever undertaken. and it's like a compounding effect, you know. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Like it just keeps going, you know, in ways that like I can't imagine, in ways that like I can't predict. So, you know, there are people who teach human design and people who teach gene keys, but there is no one that really teaches the true embodiment and the level of like detail and specificity that, you know, like Elisa does. Like over the last 2 weeks, I've actually interviewed I think 4 or 5 of her current and former clients, and they've all said hands down like it has been the most transformative experience of their lives energetically, that they feel so much more of who they really are, that they're more aligned. And it's like everything that they said really resonates with me. It's like, yeah, that was the experience that I had too. I feel like every call that I got on with one of these women, I was sitting there interviewing them and also being like, me too, me too. It was great. So, you know, I'm really, really, really excited about what Elise is putting together. You know, this prosperity inner circle is going to be fucking amazing. I'm really interested to learn more about the prosperity sequence. So that's like the blue triangle in your gene key, in your holographic profile, hologenetic profile, sorry. I'm going to be there in the masterclasses, taking notes, learning, because I lap up everything this woman has to say. Everything that she has to share is amazing. It's mind-blowing. I've actually taken a lot of her trainings and I've incorporated them into the way that I work with my clients to help them be more magnetic in their unique strategy. And they've all had like super profound shifts just from me telling them stuff that I've learned from Elisa. So I've been in her program, How to Lead Teams and Clients by Design, and that's been super powerful for me as a consultant and as a leader to be working with clients. And yeah, I just basically went from fucking crying in my pillow to now having like a really strong, I guess, presence and energy online, where I have an audience who, you know, I feel like I have a duty to look after them and give them what they're needing. So it's crazy how all of that just kind of happened, what felt like overnight. And yeah, I mean, if any of you guys have any questions about Elisa or human design, I'd love to answer them for you. Oh, hey Danny, hey Nita, Alfie, hey guys, thanks for jumping on, thanks for joining. Hey Sig. Oh. Yeah, so the projector's unique strategy is to wait for the invitation, and you basically have to just embody like your wisdom and your role as the wise guide, and then people will invite you to guide them. And when that happens, it's just everything is so effortless and so easy. So yeah, it's been really phenomenal. If any of you guys are hesitating at all, I would say don't. Yeah, jump on the masterclasses this week. She's holding them on Tuesday and Thursday, and they're going to be freaking amazing. If any of you guys have any questions about Elisa or about human design or gene keys, like I'd be happy to answer them. So just reach out and let me know. Thanks, Phelan. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Phelan or is it like Phelan? Is that how you say it? Let me know. Yeah, and for anyone who I haven't met before, I would love to meet you. If you feel like I resonate with you, then feel free to just reach out and say hi. I'm pretty friendly. I don't bite. Just my food. Anyway, I'm going to cut that off here and yeah, just close it with I'll be available for questions if you guys have any, and see you in the masterclasses. I think we'll pop the link to register in the comments, so you'll get like a notification when they're on. It was lovely speaking with you all. Good night, ciao, and I hope that my experience inspires and enlightens you to what is possible in a very short space of time when you're truly embodying your unique design. Bye, guys.